In any professional field, there is an ever-present risk of slip-ups and mistakes. The higher the level of performance required, the more unfortunate the results of a lapse can be. In electrical power distribution engineering, the same rules apply. The installation of equipment and cables requires high skill levels and constant attention to detail. Variations in standards of work could result in unexpected loss of supply. The cable fitter is a man at the top of his trade. Like all professionals, he is continually perfecting his skills and is always on the watch for oversights and possible sources of error. New polymeric cable types and modern jointing materials have made the fitter's job more convenient. This equipment is also well placed in a clean switch room. Under these conditions, it's hard to imagine that anything could go wrong. Provided you start by checking the installation instructions through to see if there have been any improvements or change in dimensions since the last time you made this type of installation. There have been many improvements to armor earthing methods, so that lengthy soldering and sweating procedures can often be avoided. But the basics still apply. Only clean, grease-free metal surfaces will produce the dependable earth connection that safety considerations require. While engineers often decide what tools and materials are required, the cable fitter is the expert in how to use them. Changing to a lighter grip on the knife, for example, helps to avoid damage to the insulation screen. The copper tape can instead be pulled off against the knife blade. However many joints or terminations you have installed in the past, an instruction sheet can still be useful on each job as a checklist of what you've done so far. No matter how detailed an instruction sheet may be, there will always be room for the fitter's good judgment of the right tool for the job. The use of a round file to remove a ring of material from an easy strip screen not only prevents damage to the insulation surface, it also simplifies the most sensitive part of cable preparation. Although the file is a great improvement to screen removal, the traditional use of a knife can be a hard habit to shake off. Tools with a preset cutting depth are becoming the craftsman's choice for removing easy strip screen layers. In this way, a smooth screen end and insulation surface result. Care of the insulation is one of the keys to a reliable installation. So a final clean makes sure no conductive material is left on the surface. Once the cleaning is over and done with, there's no reason not to get on with installing the accessory, is there? Economizing on paper cloths or solvent won't save the cable, so continue to use fresh ones and plenty of solvent until a fresh cloth comes off the insulation as clean as it was before. If the screen is extruded, don't use anything except the recommended special tool. The task of removing graphite layers is only finished when a cloth covered with solvent and cleaning powder comes off the cable still clean, with no traces of dirt or conductive material left on it. There are cable cleaners recommended by the cable manufacturers specially for this purpose. And what's been removed from the cable shouldn't be put back on again with tapes, so clean your hands too. And if you feel you've heard enough about cleaning by now, don't forget that an extra wash never did any harm. For cutting the course to length, the hacksaw is a preferred tool. Before installing the cable lugs, the tough cross-linked polyethylene insulation has to be removed from the conductors. This might seem easier with a sharp tool, but would still be a waste of time if some strands of the electrical conductor were cut through as a result. The use of a string is more accurate and reduces the risk of damage and subsequent overheating of the electrical conductors. Now things have gone so well, we're about to prove that Murphy was wrong about his law after all. But everyone deserves a last chance. Crimping the cable lugs from the bottom up would do the job. The lugs are designed to extrude down over the conductor as they are compressed. By following the manufacturer's instructions for crimping and using the correct dies, a sufficiently low contact resistance results. There is an increasing awareness of the relation between water intrusion in cables and their service life. Accessories of the seal type are becoming more widely used. In this case, a track-resistant mastic is used as a moisture block at the top of the connector. But before this termination is completed, let's get back to the practical side and make sure that nothing goes wrong in the final stages. Was everything all right? Let's see now. The cable core and connector were cleaned, working towards the cable end. so that was correct. The sealant tape was applied with clean hands, stretching and overlapping it. Good. But we nearly forgot to relax and think back over an installation that was completed successfully, because dimensions were checked with the installation instructions, electrical connection points were cleaned, cuts into the cable screen were avoided, special tools were used where necessary. Conductive residues were cleaned off thoroughly. Damage was avoided to the electrical conductors. Lugs were installed according to the manufacturer's recommendations. And there was pride in the achievement that goes with skill and professionalism.